I have decided on a couple of really fantastic recipes we're going to show you. But the first thing we need to do is educate you on how to use the cannabis in your edibles. There's a couple of different ways. Let's begin by preparing what I like to call shake flower. So before me I have two styles of marijuana. This style here is the time-honored nug, or the bud, and it's delicious and aromatic, and it's been prepared for smoking by curing it and manicuring it, and that is part of the expense of when you go to buy buds. So what I like to use is the shake or the trim around it. Now that's when they take the bud and they trim off all the excess stuff around it, all the leaf. That's usually dried up. What's great about shake flower is it usually comes in abundance and it's a bit cheaper and you can use it in your baking, but you can use both. You just need to know if you're using the bud that it has a higher concentration of THC, so you would use less, like more than half less of the bud than if you were using the shake flower. Or shake, we're going to turn it into flower. So, trim or shake tends to have all these really cool sticks and twigs in them because it's a green leafy vegetable grown on a stalk. And this is great for making t-shirts, not great for making cookies and edibles. So if you see the big stalks in there, I just pull the big ones out. Just the big ones. The blender will do the rest, okay? But the big chunky ones might stop up your blender. Okay. Now you're going to take a blender or a coffee grinder, which we affectionately like to call the bud buster. If you have a coffee grinder, it works too. Don't put too much of the shake into the blender at a time because it'll mostly get gummed up. If you put a little less in, it'll go faster. Clip that on, and then we're going to pulse this into a very fine flour. So, we're here. Now you want to take a sifter or a sieve of some kind with a very fine meshing, because there's still some of those twigs that I talked about in there, some of the fibrous content. And you want to just make sure you get as much of that out as you can, and you can do it very simply. So as not to be wasteful. So, in here we have a bit of a more bulky, fibrousy material. I'm going to pull that right off. It's not great for your baking, but in here we have a super fine shake flour. Already super ready for baking. I suggest you prep a bunch of this in advance, put it in a mason jar with a tight fitting lid, and put it in your fridge, and then you can pull it out every time you want to bake.